good that he writes his own songs. It's not as if he takes songs from songwriters.
What are we doing as journalists, though? Because I don't know. When my parents told us we should go to school, this is a 23-year-old boy with 1 billion stream. If you know how much that amounts to in dollars.
Yeah, well, I think it's good for Nigeria. At least from that end, we are getting accolades. And like we've always said, what is good, we should encourage. And even when you look at the artists who have clinched the 1 billion mark on Spotify, they are big artists all over the world. So he has not just represented here, well, he has also done well worldwide for himself, not just Africa. Because for you to get to 1 billion on Spotify, it means you are really doing well. You are talking of Taylor Swift, Miley Cyrus, you know. So the guy is standing shoulder to shoulder with. And that's quite good for Nigeria. I've watched a couple of his performances, especially the ones at O2 Arena. And
Now Afrobeats,
it's looking good for Nigeria.
Now taking us, into the world more than any, not even Juju, not even Fuji, that we grew up to know. The regular, not even Afrobeats.
Afrobeat. And it's the word has helped to give us to give it that identity. You are looking for something to call African music, and Afrobeat is like the generic name for African music. Even those of them who sing slows, it's still Afrobeat that they call it. Rema, with Calm Down, won the Billboard Music Award for Best Afrobeat Song. And that's big for Billboard. He won it. He is also one of the artists in the top for the year 2023's year end, the U.S. Billboard Afrobeat chart. He is one of the artists in the top 10. Burna Boy is number 1, and he is number 2. You know that song, Calm Down, is no doubt like it's now like a global.
I've forgotten that chorus.
Baby, calm down.
Okay.
Calm down. Get this your body, put in my heart for lockdown. Girl, you sweet like Fanta. If I tell you say I love you, no they for me, young girl. Oh, young girl. Oh, tell me no, whoa. Baby, don't give me a no.
You are a kiss.
So that's Rema. That's Rema for you. If Rema can achieve this feat at such a young age, there are still so many of them that are coming. That are still talented
this
artists.
Young, his 20s.
The Ballon d'Or award ceremony, he was the one who sang at Ballon d'Or. He was the one who sang at Ballon d'Or now, and he came down to shake Messi, shake the Mbappe. For him, I'm telling you what some people cannot achieve in 2 lifetimes.
Yeah.
This boy has already achieved it.
At the rate at which he's going, before he's 30 now. Davido is 31.
Yeah. It's probably going to overtake some of those before him, Weezy and rest of, because
at this rate.
And we have to give credit to Don Jazzy, the man with the Midas touch. Somehow, Don Jazzy only needs to look at your Instagram videos to determine whether you can be a world beater or not. Look at the people that have gone through it, doing very well. Tiwa Savage, so many of these big artists, and those of them on Maven's record, they are doing very well. I just think that the future is here for music, and Nigeria is the center point. If you go to Ghana, the way they worship Ashake, Ashake is so big in Ghana,
all over Africa,
so big in South Africa. you know. And this is somebody who just came on the scene just a few years back, you know. So I'm so happy, you know, that we are doing very well. We just need the government to provide the enabling environment because there are still many stars like Rema. Some of them just waiting for that opportunity for them to discover, and then they will blow. So, Ayo, this boy was playing in Rotterdam, and then he called out
Amsterdam.
He called out Wizzy to come and join him on stage. As a Nigerian, you will shed tears. The way these two artists, you know, were accepted. The moment he came out, held Wizkid, and Wizkid started dancing. You know, he played that his popular song, Milo.
Yes, I know.
No, that was the moment that music hit, everyone they began to sing. Foreigners sing our songs like they were here when these boys were
so proud of it. You'll be so proud.
Everywhere, everywhere our artists, people want to see them. They want to see them perform.
All right, moving on now. Clashes between soldiers and police are becoming common occurrences to our dismay. The Ondo State Police Command has confirmed the killing of Inspector Jacob Daniel during a clash between its operative and soldiers in the states. The police public relations officer, Suleiman Yahya, who confirmed the incident, said the clash resulted in the exchange of gunfire and brutal attack and on police command headquarters and killing of Inspector Daniel. I don't understand this inter-agency rivalry.
Well, it's it's been said over and over again. Until when these people understand that they are working for a common purpose and a common cause, and let the law always take its course. You know, a lot of these guys see themselves as above the law when they want to operate. Very simple issues that can be resolved amicably. We turn it into something else. Just last week, some days ago, we had what happened between the operatives of the Nigerian Force and those of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Some guys were somewhere and they were taken in because obviously they were not in uniform, and they had intelligence, that's the EFCC, that these guys were into internet fraud. They were taken in for questioning, write your statements, and then some guys who felt, why will you arrest one of us? We are not at your level. They stormed the EFCC office to go and free them. And among those 6 guys who went there, 2 were still students who had not even become full soldiers. So some of these things are appalling. The discipline is, damn, it's too much.
I thought this you know, we see this, it was because of the laid-back nature of former President Muhammadu Buhari. I thought that's why we had this, you know, but right now, why is this still happening?
Well, you know, look, see the bullet holes. You are not fighting Boko Haram. You are firing at yourselves. It means that you people are not engaging your brains now. You are not fighting Boko Haram. Look at bullet holes.
That's true.
It's damage bad.
It means that the leadership of both the police
both of them,
army, they don't know what they are doing.
In Ondo State, I've been to this police headquarters. I know that place.
Why would you fire at yourselves? The moment, okay, this thing you've discovered that, okay, this person is a police, I mean, is
an army officer. Yeah.
It's at the level of your bosses that the issue will be resolved. It's at the level of your bosses. This was how soldiers went and killed innocent policemen in Taraba State.
Yeah.
Those who went
for an operation.
I mean, to conduct an operation.
Honestly, RSC guys.
This kind of savagery, this kind of aggression should be reserved for the terrorists. We have people, we have bandits who are kidnapping innocent students. We've not been able to do anything about them. You are turning the gun and the bullets bought with taxpayers' money for you to defeat crime in our country. You are turning it against yourselves. I mean, if heads do not roll, it means that both the chief of army staff and the IG, they don't know what they are doing. They must ensure that this matter is investigated and those found culpable are punished. Soldiers should also stop this habit of, oh, this thing has happened, the next thing, you just gather yourself. You know, even here in Lagos, remember what they did at that time?
Just
they even set a
minor skirmish in
yes, the next
traffic.
thing, you want to go and fight. Is that how it happens in other countries? You go to other countries for on peacekeeping mission.
And you behave yourselves there.
You behave yourself because you know you will go to jail. It is only in Nigeria you come to Nigeria to misbehave. People, in the Air Force men too. Remember what happened some years back here in Lagos?
Yeah, in Lagos. Yeah.
The next thing you just go and any policeman that you see, you just catch them. Yes, no one expects the police to not behave in the right way. But where mistakes are made, and soldiers go to the point of going to set ablaze police barracks, those ones can't be soldiers. Those ones can't be soldiers.
Outlaws.
They are layabouts. They are not soldiers. You can't go and burn an entire... that was what they did that year. What year was that? So, more than... It's probably close to 20 years now, the one that I'm talking about. They just went and set ablaze police barracks, buildings in police barracks. Because you have gun.
And which you know is superior to what the policemen are carrying.
Yes.
Look at the one in Ojo area where there was just a traffic. No, don't go. Hold on. You said you are a naval man, and you insisted on going. A man who left his family, you shot him dead. You killed him because you said you are coming to retaliate. That doesn't add up.
And the person that you killed was not the one who offended.
It was not the one who offended you. He just resumed for duty.
Okay, someone was shot in the leg.
Some things don't add up.
You ended up killing. You ended up taking a life.
Inspector.
Is that not disproportionate
aggression?
I've invested nothing less than 20 years in service.
If not more.
The soldiers need to stop this behavior. Sometimes soldiers will catch Boko Haram and they will film themselves. They will film themselves cutting those Boko Haram guys' legs and all that. Yes, sometimes when you look at what Boko Haram does, the way they've killed your colleagues, it can be painful. Yeah. But to go to the extent of filming yourself is irresponsible. Let's tell ourselves the truth. You film yourself, they will see all those things, all these people, Amnesty International, and the rest of them, they will see those videos.
You can't do that.
I saw one video. I felt sad. I forwarded it to the former chief of defense staff. I said, see your people. I said, see your people. They were cutting with cutlass. They were trying to sever the guy's leg from the knee. And the soldiers were twisting the leg so that it will be completely severed from the knee. That's bestiality. How much longer are we going to continue this kind of behavior? Today, it's EFCC and DSS fighting them. Tomorrow, it could be police and Air Force. Tomorrow, it's a police and army. Come on, I mean, this is wrong.
With taxpayers' money.
They are behaving like this, as if discipline has collapsed. The idea thing is, this thing has happened, your bosses will first hear. And your bosses will now take appropriate action. Not to take the law into your hand. Look at that of Fayose, look at that of Yabelo the other day. The chief of army staff had to intervene. Because they were not going to listen until the governor called the chief of army staff. You cannot say you don't know a governor's convoy now.
You can't.
When mistakes are made, you have superiors. Your superiors should be able to sort things out. That will show us that there is discipline. You can't give the impression that an international fighting force like the Nigerian army, that discipline has collapsed. No matter the level
within the country.
I'm telling you, I think
no matter
the
the
national
level of
security
provocation.
advisor should just do something about this. They have to bring these guys to
I don't know.
justice.
I mean, what is? You can't lose your head because your colleague is a victim of aggression. It's not enough to lose your head. These were the same people who beat up Abiola.
Yes,
it's been a long time that
these things have been happening,
behaving like this,
and it's still not stopping.
And when you see you see real aggression from Boko Haram, some of you will take to your heels.
Honest.
Yes. You see somebody is pointing AA at you. You don't wait now. You don't wait now.
To dismember.
No, this is wrong.
Very,
it's so
very
distressing
wrong.
to see this
very
kind of
wrong.
story.
Are the police headquarters there? Oh, no. I think that it boils down to some people will attribute this to
discipline. There's nothing. No.
It's just indiscipline.
Especially the training of the other ranks.
No,
Maybe
the feeling of superiority. You know, we
It's
were
what-
talking about this.
it's what happened,
when
yes.
I said, okay, soldiers, when soldier generals are exiting, what is their severance package like? Turning to the police, what is their severance package like? What is their pension like? And if you give the soldier like 3 times or 4 times what you give the police, and it is a general. Police have generals too. From commissioner of police, they are generals.
It's up.
So
Yeah.
once you now pay, they got into service the same year. They
With the
look
same
at what you pay.
certificates.
Yes, they look at what you pay a general from the Air Force. They look at what you pay a general from the Army. You now go and pay them less than 100,000, for example, because an AIG was a keynote speaker at an event where a retired AIG was telling us that his pension was 96,000. This is not fiction. What he said. So, how won't the police, the soldier, feel that is inferior to the policeman? He will feel inferior. This attitude has been there for long. You should serve our country. That is what matters. And in serving the country, you must work together. Where the other arms of the security forces see you as hostile to them, as disrespectful to them, you are not going to get the maximum cooperation. That's why we are still battling with insecurity, and we can't defeat banditry because our energy is devoted to something else, to fighting amongst one another. A house divided against itself cannot stand.
So this particular case now, so what they should do, it should be under one office and they should identify the culprits.
Certainly they are not closed. You will know those who actually went. There's no way you will not.
Yes.
By at least you are giving somebody bullets, you are giving them guns. So you it's
Who is the armorer that provided them with the weapons that they used?
it's not a big deal getting them.
Even expending ammunition should not be a flimsy thing. Because these things cost a lot of money. Just go and waste it on a silly conflict with the sisters.
I was very sad when I heard it. Initially people thought it was Boko Haram.
Yes.
You know,
They said
there was
government, not
panic
knowing that
everywhere.
it's
There was panic everywhere. So anybody who is fearful at that point would have done something stupid.
All right, we'll take this breather. When we come back, we'll talk more. It's still John this time. We'll be right back.
Heading home from work, in the busy traffic, your car breaks down. Car horns blast. Your car is pushed aside. You call for help. Phone battery blinks and dies. You take a cab. Few miles, tire bursts. What a day. Frustrated, sweating, and tired. Nearing home, darkness envelops the street. Wow! Just one house is bubbling with life. Brilliant lights, loud music, smiling wife, all welcome you.
We alone have light.
Yes, it's JRB Solar Energy Systems, my anniversary present to us.
No matter how dark life is, the sun is gonna shine on everything you do. JRB solar inverters, batteries, solar panels, solar streetlights and more. Telephone 0906 752 1111. Email sales@jrbsolar.com. JRB, the sun is gonna shine on everything you do.
Politics is defined as getting what, where, when, and how. But in the mix, many things come to play to shape the political fortune of any country.
Honorable Minister, that's how you misinform the public.
From the political actors to the electorate, campaign to voting, from debates to policy decisions, big events happen to engage us in constant conversation.
That's what we're looking for. Not some people who are talking about ethnicity. No.
Who is on your mind?
Don't worry.
Join me every day on Politics Tonight, where we dissect issues that shape our political destiny. Politics Tonight, weekdays on TVC News.
Kolishashla Mandela was born into the Madiba clan on 18th July 1918. He got involved in politics in 1942 as he helped to form ANC Youth League. He was married to Evelyn Mays and they had 4 children. Mandela was arrested in a countrywide police swoop on 5th December 1956, which led to the 1956 treason trial. Before the end of the treason trial, he wrote to Prime Minister for vote to include a national convention on a non-racial constitution, and failure to adhere would result to a national strike. In August, he was arrested and charged for leaving the country without a permit and inciting workers to strike. He was convicted and sentenced to 5 years imprisonment. On 9th of October 1963, he was on trial with 10 others for sabotage in what became known as the Revolver trial. On the 11th of June 1964, Mandela and 7 other accused were convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment.
Thank you for staying with us. There is fire on the mountain in Ondo State, and as such, the elders are running. Elders and leaders in the states have called on President Bola Tinubu to urgently intervene and end the constitutional crisis in the states. To avoid a looming breakdown of law and order, the elders, including Afenifere leader Ruben Fashoranti and former secretary to the government of the Federation, Chief Olufalaye, and also said there should be no impeachment of the governor nor the deputy governor by the House of Assembly. They all insist all unelected officials should allow the 3 arms of government to find lasting solution to the crisis. Jide? Now the elders from Ondo State, Chief Fashoranti and Chief Olufalaye, wading into this. It's like a crisis, or what would I call it?
It's about time, Ayo. It's about time. We said from the beginning that, look, the solution is not to impeach the deputy governor. What for? With ridiculous charges and all that. I've never seen the man, as in seeing someone at close quarters.
Are you that you are?
I've never seen him.
Lucky.
You know, I've never seen him. If he decides to shave his white beard, and I see him in public, I've never
You know him. Me too, I've never met him.
Maybe the white beard will help me. Say, this looks like that you are. Never met him. I don't need to meet him. But the truth is the truth. It makes absolutely no sense where the governor is ill and you have created a situation in which the person who is supposed to act in his position can't even function. You've saddled him with a burden of having to defend himself, keep himself in power, but not in office. Because this is what it is, and Ondo State is suffering for it. We know how active the governor was, always inspecting projects and going and ensuring that projects get done and all that, that everything is moving smoothly. He's not been able to do that for months. And we have a situation in which a man that he appointed as deputy, a man that he once said that he would be his successor, he can't function.
All of a sudden,
you want to impeach a deputy governor on the claims that he is not loyal to the governor. I've looked at all of the allegations against him. They are ridiculous. This is the truth.
Just to eliminate him.
We just want to get him, just pure succession politics. That is what they are playing.
The calculation is if Aiyedatiwa becomes the acting governor,
he will be too strong.
Will be too strong, and by the time he contests,
just the Jonathan kind of.
Yes.
Because the man who is on the saddle is the man with the power. You know, he's the man with the power. If you hold the microphone now, your voice will be louder than mine. That's the way it is. So that is their feeling. They don't want that. They would rather want someone from their own group This is what is playing out. I mean, there ought not to be a vacuum in governance, but that vacuum is there now, whether we like it or not. And it's the states, the people of the state that are the worst for it.
But what is wrong with us in this part of the world? You even see people that are even very educated and learned, so to say, and understand law and everything. I don't expect that if they allow the free will of Arakunwe, it's just throwing the two and
there is a lot of hypocrisy in government. What a lot of time we see when leadership is going wrong is that those who have surrounded the leader are not saying the truth to him, saying the truth to power. A lot of sycophants who just want to do the bidding of the leader. They mislead them. There have been governors in this country in their first term who did excellently well. And then second term, sycophants get their way in and they mislead him. And at the end of the day, such states, you see them losing it to the opposition because they have derailed completely. And that's something that leaders must always avoid. When everybody around you is singing Hosanna, Hosanna to you, be careful. If there is a lone voice that is saying to you, watch this thing that you are doing, listen to that person. Because that's your savior. But most times, you see people, let's assume that it was that deputy, for instance, who was ill and is out of the state. How will the same set of people react?
Sharp. They replace him.
They would have replaced him. So we must be careful that a lot of things that are happening, they don't throw the people we are supposed to govern into turmoil. And that's what is happening in those states.
What Babas are saying is, no need to impeach.
No, don't impeach. It's almost over.
No need to impeach them. Why do you want to impeach the man? What is your evidence that the deputy governor is not loyal? How do you define loyalty?
And even the people outside have already seen it, that this is all about politics of succession. You can see. So why are you trying to tell us that these manufactured allegations are the things, the real reason you want the man out of the way? We can see it clearly. In Ondo State now, we have seen that the deputy governor has decided to go all out. He has started his campaign. And that is what will likely happen. He has not started. He has not
started any campaign.
And that will likely happen in Ondo State too.
Just want to get him out of the way.
Should we do something about the...
I think that, APC sent the Masari committee to intervene. But clearly now, they have not listened to
the committee.
Masari group. The matter is still very kind of neither here nor there. No one knows what will happen the next day. So I subscribe to the advice that Baba Olufalaye and Baba Fashoranti
and other elders
intervene. The president needs to intervene. We know that he's busy, but at this time, the president is the president. When a problem becomes seemingly intractable, the stature of the president, when he steps in, will create that solution. Modakeke and Ife, they were fighting each other, killing each other, using jazz against each other. There was no story that we didn't hear those days about how it works. Maybe most of them are not even true, but they will tell us just to terrify us. That,
I saw that a lot of things went down.
Obasanjo had to step in, and he called the Oni and the king of Modakeke.
Okushua. Oh, that's is that,
Ogunshua.
oh no, that's the title. Ogu something is the title.
So,
Yeah.
They had meetings. Some meetings would start at 6 p.m. It won't end until like 7 a.m. the next day. You know, it was Obasanjo himself that said it. People will think that we are not working, that there is a crisis, we are not solving problems. But look, when we had this Ifemudake war, these were the meetings that we had, and this was how long those meetings were. So Obasanjo stepped in. In the end, he solved the problem. Mr. President waded into what would have been a bloody affair in Rivers State.
Yeah.
And we saw peace. There was a calmness that came immediately. So we expect that in this case, the president can't just leave this matter like that. What the people want to impeach the deputy governor? What do they want to gain beyond using the opportunity to install their own people? There's no other. And you created a lacuna. You created a vacuum in government. A vacuum created by the fact that Arakune is ill. How do you create another vacuum in the deputy governor's office? Because you are not aligned to function. So I think that the president needs to listen to the advice of these old men. If there are still old men in Yoruba land who are respected, Fashoranti and Falai are respected, and they are not flippant.
Finally, some guys are saying that it's time to look at the office of the deputy governor and should be strengthened. That they should be, because the way it is now, they are just at the mercy of the governor.
Unfortunately, yes, it's a good position. But where you also have overambitious deputy and you create some good foundation for him, it can also be a problem. I think what we need to watch or tell those who are going into government is that, see, this is a team that must not see itself as being at or being in competition. They must not. At least there are some states where we have seen good working relationship. Lagos is still an example.
Work together.
Lagos now, as it is an example. When you look at what went down in Imo before the election, the deputy governor had a good working relationship with the governor, and the governor said, see, if we don't do our calculations well, we won't win this election. And the man stepped down, they brought in another person. That's relationship. There was no squabble, no nothing over that. And so many, like, you can mention so many like that. In Kogi, for instance, you could have expected that the deputy governor would want to run. But it was a matter of sitting down to see if we do it this way, we are not going to go anywhere. And they had an agreement and they moved on. So it's a matter of the two persons, the two individuals occupying those offices. If you strengthen the office of the deputy governor, it will also become a problem. And
all right. Like the Hydra-headed monster, Boko Haram terrorism takes many forms. The more the military strives to cut its tentacles, the Chief of Defense Staff, that's General Christopher Musa, has revealed that some recently arrested Boko Haram terrorists in the Northeast planned attacks from the prison in connivance with the prison warders. At a meeting with the House of Representatives alongside the service chiefs and the Inspector General of Police, General Musa decried the corrupt attitudes of some prison warders in the Northeast and alleged that they aided arrested Boko Haram terrorists in planning their operations. He added that they helped them to transfer funds too. Let's hear from General Musa.
The issue of correctional facilities. In the Northeast, when we got the when we were debriefing some of the arrested Boko Haram elements, so they were telling us how from the prisons they could plan operations out in the field. From the prisons, They plan operations. They pass funds across. And we said how? They use some of the warders from there. We don't say all of them are bad, but they use some of them. They use their accounts to transfer money. And the deal is anybody's account who money is transferred to, they share 50-50. Those are the areas, those are the challenges we're having. And if you look at where we have the correctional facilities, they've all been occupied now. The Kuje facility, you have a school sharing wall with the prison yard. In Ibadan, the marketplace is where Agodi is where you pass to go to. So I think we need to really look at this critically for us to have good control in these areas.
This is annoying. This is almost unbelievable.
There's nothing some Nigerians can do for money. There's nothing some Nigerians can do just because of money. You see, the Boko Haram war would not have lasted this long if not for the activities of some enemies within, saboteurs within. Even the army, they've arrested. Maybe they didn't ask him questions about that. If I was there, I would have asked him about soldiers that were clearly giving weapons to bandits, soldiers collaborating with Boko Haram. They've arrested many of them. The former chief of defense staff was lamenting. He said these cases are becoming too recurrent. Now, why should soldiers be conniving with bandits to the point that they even arrest you with them? Why should soldiers make their weapons available to the enemies of the state? Why should soldiers provide information about troops movement to facilitate an ambush by the enemy? These things happen. And soldiers have been arrested. In Yobe State, recall the case of a soldier. His barrack is in Unguru. One popular cleric was going to was going to Geshua. He asked for a ride. After the cleric gave him that ride, he killed the cleric and tried to steal his car. In fact, this last trip that I made to Yobe, I saw two of the children of that cleric, interviewed them. A soldier paid to protect you and I. He asked for a ride. The innocent cleric gave him a ride. And he killed him before they got to the next village. So there are people who can do anything. This one that they are saying that some prison warders that are conniving with Boko Haram, I'm not surprised. Because once money is involved, some Nigerians are ready to kill. We behave like this money, we are not going to leave it behind when we die. It's as if we are amassing wealth to use in the hereafter. People are insane about some of the things that they do because of money. But we have to defeat insurgency. Each of the service chiefs was speaking. I've never seen in the very recent past where they opened up the way they opened up. Maybe you want them to come and talk. Oh, you don't want their subordinates to represent them. You want them to come and talk. This chief of defense staff spoke similarly to the late Atahiru when he faced the Senate. Remember when he faced the Senate, he told them the plain truth. So we can't be fighting to defeat terrorism and people will stay prisoners, will be conniving with Boko Haram detainees, giving them information, helping them to warehouse money from kidnapping and all that. I think also that our system is too loose because the banks have been told that when they see suspicious movement of money, they are supposed to alert the FCC. Or is it that sometimes they alert them and nothing gets done? because that is not impossible too. Given how corrupt we are as a people, that is not impossible. So clearly the service chiefs need more funding. He was talking about one of the precision bomb that is used in one of the unmanned area vehicles. He said it cost $85,000. Yes. Sometimes just one bomb that they would drop, it could cost up to 10,000 euros. One bomb that the jets carry. One. So, and you know how many sorties the Air Force does in a day. So it's expensive.
Even the fuel alone.
Yes, the fueling is a lot of money, and now it will be a lot higher.
A lot higher now
because of the price of everything has gone up. So war is very, very expensive, and if we want to win, we must be ready to spend so much money. Then, what do we do about our forests? He was talking about 73 different forests in Niger State alone. That's why we have the national park, Kanji National Park, abandoned for years. Boko Haram has found it a good habitation. A lot of the forests, all these forests in the north, Rugu Forest, stretching all the way from the northwest to Central African Republic. Boko Haram and the other bandits, that's where they use. They don't want to stay with the rest of us, but they have enough places in the forest to stay. What have we done? There ought to be, the president talked about forest rangers. We need to begin to see forest rangers being recruited to protect our forests and save our people from the constant harassment and killings by bandits. So it's still a long way to go for us to defeat crime in our country.
People who work in our correctional center, prison officials, apparently Nigerian Prison Service under the Ministry of Internal Affairs and everything, I think it's time to bring the searchlight on these guys.
Well, it's always been there. It's just that with the Boko Haram experience, we now also need to find means of curbing them.
In Lagos now, if they are bringing any VIP that is in prison, any VIP to the courts, you see the way these prison officials scamper.
But you know the way it is. That is why for every VIP that goes to court, they don't want to be in the facilities of the DSS or EFCC because they know the prison is far better. Some years back, some years back when I was a reporter, many years anyway, when you go to Kirikiri, you see all of them with well-starched, the civilians that they are detaining, well-starched natives. No, they are, and the kind when you go into the room where the Oga Patapata's room, you see the kind of food they bring to them daily. Even you that were outside. Yes.
I remember when
you'll be envious.
I almost have brought a cellular phone to put up an and people were like,
why did you get this? For prison.
You are using food.
Exactly. So it's from that.
Things on heads rolled after that incident.
It's from that point that it starts. One of the things we need to watch, which we've been talking about, is the use of funds in prison. Because even the small fries, we've read stories of recent where they said before they left prison, they had planned some operations with the use of funds, and they come out to execute it. I think there have been 1 or 2 cases in Ondo State. That is why I will also support the idea of it's expensive, it may not be doable, but if we have speedy trial, special courts for this set of people where this is how you want to run. I don't know how we are going to do it. But
let's build new prisons.
New prisons, and then keep them elsewhere. Once you have them, keep them elsewhere. So that they don't have access to these people who give them VIP privileges. That's what they do.
Like, one of the big lacuna in our constitution, prisons belong to the federal government exclusively. I remember the Senate President Akpabio, he built a new prison and he handed it over
Yeah,
to
it's
one of the best prisons.
Kabru, Christmas Day, Bamba. That's where they sent him to. That time, I don't know if they moved him. Modern prison.
Modern. So we will.
Buhari also built a modern one for them in Kano.
So we really need to work on all of these things.
We
need to work
states.
on them.
I was at Geshua prison, where they kept Ghani, and Abiola was there 2 weeks ago. Very old
facility.
Structures, you know. I can't talk about what I saw inside, you know, because the Abiola cell has been demolished because the cell was purpose built. Once they knew they were bringing him, they quickly built the place. So they demolished it. The space is still there. Ghani's cell is now a female cell. I saw everything, you know. I think that the prisons, we need to build modern prisons. Yeah. These people, when we send them out,
it's not correcting anything.
They get worse.
Hardened.
They get worse. Some of them will take to sodomy, and all that. They don't feed them enough. The money, the funding has to be sufficient because the feeding, if you see someone in prison, maybe after a few months that they put the person in prison, if it's not from a rich family, by the time you see him, he will be like a broomstick. He will have lost weight badly. But the rich people, they tidy the cell, they make it self-conducive. When they put Yaradua in the prison, that's the senior brother. If refurbish the place, wicked people, they moved him from there. He took out the place, they took him to Abakaliki. It was at Abakaliki prison that he actually died.
Injected.
Well,
that's what was. No, we didn't witness it. You know, that's where he fell sick and never recovered. Nasty things happened during the military. So I think that the issue of funding has to be addressed.
Very key. Very key.
He talked about the fact that they will arrest a Boko Haram fighter before you step out of your car. It's been granted bail. We are quick to grant some people bail.
Why?
I don't know.
Well, they always say it's the
and we don't put them on trial. The Attorney General was saying that they are going to put some terrorists on trial, you know. The ones that they even alerted us about their presence and their activities, we've not put them on trial. The ones that our soldiers arrested, we also didn't put them on trial. We just left some of the worst people walking around our country. We left them alone. We are not putting them on trial. So how will people learn that it doesn't pay to be killing people up and down if you fail to put them on trial? So it's a problem. How do you detain? He said they've detained some for up to 5 to 6 years without trial. They're not even bringing them to court for trial.
The issue of the courts acting decisively now is important. You know, it's also appalling that even the civil cases, some civil cases, look at one case that was mentioned, 15 years after is when Supreme Court is fixing 2024. We hear that case.
Because those judges too are overworked.
They're overworked.
What they go through with politicians, election
it's enough to keep them busy.
Just too much. And you can see now that they are so busy that they are even doing cut and paste. There was a judgment in which I think the judges did cut and paste. They now, in error, put some paragraphs from an earlier judgment about Taraba State. In a different, so it causes confusion.
Wow. I want to thank you, Dr. Oladipo.
Thank you so much.
Papa Jide Kolade Otitaju. Thank you. And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11 p.m. And don't forget to join us this Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout. On Sunday, we're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. Bye for now.